Arab Army units restore security and stability to Esal Al-Ward in Qalamoun in Damascus countryside. Child was killed and more than 50 others wounded when mortar shells fired by terrorists fell on schools in Babtouma and Al-Duwailah in Damascus. Putin signs 2 decrees appointing an interim president for the Crimean Republic and a provisional governor for the city of Sevastopol. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Yabroud Korean with the news in English. The Syrian Arab Army has restored security and stability to Esal Al-Ward village in Qalamoun in Damascus countryside after eliminating a large number of terrorists and forcing others to flee the area. The inhabitants received the soldiers with rice and roses, hoisting national flag and glorifying the achievements of the Syrian Arab Army. A child was killed and more than 50 others wounded, most of them children, when mortar shells fired by terrorists fell on Al-Manar school in Babtouma in Damascus. Several shells also fell on a number of schools near Marlia's church in Al-Duwailah, injuring 5 citizens. Having been defeated in various parts in Syria, the last of which was in Maloula, Al-Sarkha, Al-Jubbe and Jabadin, and overwhelmed with spite and hatred, the terrorists found revenge in targeting children's schools, thus perpetrating another atrocity to be added to their countless crimes that have been targeting innocent people. The map of the Syrian Arab Army's achievements expands as the Syrian Arab Army declares control of Maloula in Qalamoun province after it has been completely cleared of terrorists.
Qalamoun in Damascus countryside has been the main source of supplies for the terrorists from Lebanon to Damascus and its suburbs, as well as to the central region and Al-Badia, and from Rankous in the south to Al-Braj in the north. On the 14th of November 2013, a military decision was taken to eliminate the terrorists in Qalamoun. The operation started along the border lines adjacent to the highway, particularly near Qara, Al-Nabik and Deir Atiyah. The Syrian Arab Army entered Qalamoun battle first from Qara, then Deir Atiyah, encircling Al-Nabik city, the main road of passage for the armed gangs who came from Arsal and Yabroud towards the Syrian desert. Al-Nabik battle was over in 10 days. The highway was totally secured, opening the way for the second phase of Qalamoun battle. In the middle of last January, the second phase started with the army taking control of As-Sahel and Jarajir near the city of Yabroud. The army besieged Yabroud, the main center of supplies from Arsal. In 48 hours, the Syrian Arab Army took control of Yabroud, thus ending the terrorist rule of the Lebanese village of Arsal, which was the main source of booby-trapped cars. The military forces then moved towards Ras Al Ain, Fleita and Ras Al Ma'arra, thus closing 18 passages which the terrorists had used to cross into Syria from Lebanon. In this way, Arsal Al-Qalamoun road was no longer available for the terrorists. The army then moved to the second terrorist bulwark in Qalamoun near Rankous in order to secure the strategic heights surrounding it, particularly the Radar Hill known as Sednaya Observatory. Full control was taken of the area in a period of 24 hours. The army then moved towards Jabadin, Al-Sarkha, Al-Jubbe and Maloula. One district after another continues to fall under the Syrian army's control, after which the army would declare the end of battles in Qalamoun front.
Syrian Arab Army units have scored crucial successes in the ancient part of Homs and are advancing in the direction of Jurat al-Shayyah Al-Hamidiyya, Bab Houd and Wadi Sayh, eliminating a number of terrorists and destroying their hideouts. Welcome back. A Palestinian woman was killed, suffocated by tear gas fired by the Israeli occupation forces during confrontations in the Aida refugee camp northwest of Beit Lahem, which is suffering from a military siege imposed by the Israeli occupation under the pretext of the Jewish holidays. Israeli occupation soldiers also attacked a march staged by the residents of Nabi Saleh, northwest of Ramallah, with the aim of breaking the Israeli siege. The Israeli occupation forces used tear gas, injuring dozens of Palestinians. The Israeli occupation forces also raided the town of Beit Amr, north of Hebron, closed its entrances and stepped up military checkpoints intending to abuse the Palestinians. Meanwhile, and under the pretext of the Jewish holidays, the Israeli occupation forces imposed a tight and comprehensive siege last night on the West Bank and stepped up its military deployment in occupied Jerusalem amidst an escalation of Israeli assaults on the Palestinians in Al-Quds. An Iraqi policeman was killed and at least other 4 were injured when 2 suicidal terrorists detonated themselves in front of Al-Aziziyah police center in Al-Ramadi city in Al-Anbar province. The blasts came after Al-Anbar's municipality council said that the security forces have maintained control over all neighborhoods in Al-Ramadi and in Al-Fallujah cities. Moreover, terrorists putting on Afghani costumes tried to attack a security checkpoint in Al-Halabsa area, but a military unit identified and clashed with them, killing 4 of them, injuring many others and destroying their vehicles. In the capital Baghdad, police detained 2 terrorists as they were trying to detonate a booby-trapped vehicle south of the city. Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed an order appointing Sergei Aksyonov as interim head of the Republic of Crimea. He also signed a decree appointing Sergei Menyailo as acting governor of the Russian federal city of Sevastopol. In a relevant context, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that resorting the power in southeastern part of Ukraine was unacceptable, calling for carrying out a constitutional reform in Ukraine. Following his talks with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing, Lavrov said that the constitutional reform was the key to solve the crisis in Ukraine, pointing out that the initiative of the appointed Prime Minister of Ukraine to launch talks with southeastern part of Ukraine was a correct step, though a late one. Lavrov voiced Moscow's readiness to take part in the quartet meeting to be held in Geneva to settle the crisis in Ukraine. Lavrov's statements came hours before the visit to be paid by the American Vice President Joe Biden to Ukraine and after the phone call between Russian President Vladimir Putin and American President Barack Obama, during which Putin told Obama that the protests witnessed in many parts of Ukraine were because the new leadership in Kiev was unconcerned to take the interests of the Russian-speaking people into consideration. Finally, the Ministry of Culture launched an activity under the title The Stars of Tomorrow at the schools of the martyrs' sons and daughters.
During the activity, the Minister of Culture and the Director of Schools of Martyrs' Sons and Daughters signed on a backstage of an open-air theatre.
Today
we are celebrating with the school children from the schools of martyrs' sons and daughters. They are our sons. They are the children of the whole country. We owe them gratitude, and it is our duty to provide them with our support and care.
This institution cares for and educates the sons of the noblest people in the world and the most dignified human beings. There is an important cooperation between the schools of martyrs' sons and daughters and the Ministry of Education. We are in the utmost need of this support and expertise provided by the Ministry of Culture.
The activity also included an exhibition of pottery making and drawing by school children workshops. Another workshop was on the play by the students of Higher Institute for Drama, in which recycling was used to design theatrical clothes.
I'm here participating with the student of the higher institution of dramatic art. We are learning about custom design. We are enjoyed it so much, and it's a great day.
As part of the activity, many theatrical performances were presented by the students of the Higher Institute for Drama, in addition to presenting the results of the open-air drawing workshops. The activity is aimed at expressing gratitude to the souls of the heroes who were martyred defending their country in order to keep it united, strong and glorified.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break.